Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today, Yann's going to take you through on how to install front fenders on your Catrike models. The process is super simple and easy for beginners, so anyone should be able to get it done. And it'll really only take you about 10-15 minutes. So let's get right into it.
Okay, so today we're gonna look at how to install Catrike fenders. So I pre-assembled my fenders just for the video to be faster. So the fender come without this part mounted, and those three here loose. When I start my installation, the first thing I do is I tighten those three screws, all right, that are already mounted, so the fender doesn't wiggle or anything. And usually when I tighten it, what I do is I look here and I try to keep the same distance at each bracket. So the fender is straight with this mount. The second thing is I will grab this plate and bolt it to the main bracket. So you can see here, you got a washer on inside and a grip lock nut. This part go on the top of the main bracket, and the curve is always facing forward. Now, if you have a Dumont, because of the suspension, you can see the difference gonna be that the bracket is gonna have an incline like this. So, non-suspended Catrike will always have the flat bracket. The Dumont with the suspension will have it this way. And so you will pull it this way actually. So this one is for the right, like I said, curve in the front, and it will go like this. So it gives you enough room between the tire and the fender when the suspension is active. So back to this one. So here we got the two, okay? So like I said, the curve forward, little flap always in the back. So this is my right fender, this is my left fender. So now that we pre-assemble, first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to come and unscrew this screw in the center on the top here of the headset. You can do that on the stand, you can do that on the floor, you don't need any special thing. On tool-wise, you're going to need a 5mm Allen wrench, a 3mm Allen wrench, and an 8mm box wrench. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew this one. An important thing is don't touch those. If you lose those, the spindle might fall. So just the top screw on the top of the headset. Unscrew it all the way. All right, so we got the original screw. Pop the cap out. The cap might be a little tough to pop, so sometime you can use a wrench. Come on. Okay, so this one is really tight. So to help, I'm going to release a little bit of tension here by untightening it, top screw. Here we go. It was just really tight. Now, because you're hiding the bracket onto the headset, descend with the key, it's another screw that's supposed to be longer. So take the other screw, put it in. Now take your right fender. Remember the right curve forward, little flap in the back. You're gonna sit the fender on the wheel and move this bracket right over here. So it align with the tube here. Take your cap screw, put it back on the top, and screw it back. Okay, don't tighten it too crazy yet. So here what I like to do now. First thing is I'm kind of OCD. Everything for me needs to be parallel. I mean, anything needs to look right. So this first bracket here, you can see can move. I will align this part here with the wheel. So parallel to the wheel. When it looks parallel, I hold it, and now we tie that down. Knowing that you have a little bit of room to move it again after. But here looks pretty good to me. So I'm tightening it down. Like I say, snug it, but don't try to go crazy tight. You want it snug. Now remember, we had to lose a little bit this one. So I'm going to tighten it back. And I remember I remove about a half to 3/4 turn. That was a half turn, and I'm going to do another quarter turn. Done. So now you have this here. So our camera, let me move this way actually, because that's how you're going to align. So if I did well, here when I look, it looks like I might be a little crooked this way. So I'm just going to, here we go. A little bit too much. Okay, I like it here, parallel with the wheel. Now, those adjustments, it's going to be able to move it in and out. So my rule is I shoot for the middle of the fender, which should be about here. And on your tire, you have a line in the center. I try to align it. So the way I will do it, I will look here. We're going to have to start tightening this one down. And here it's going to be an 8 millimeter at the bottom, 3 millimeter at the top. So let's see, I'm tightening, so we're good. So here it's really loose. All the way around. There we go. So I'm going to snug it just enough that I can still kind of move it to do the really fine adjustment. So just tighten it a little bit. Okay. And now I'm going to look. It's like this. And carefully, I'm going to move it. So here I can see it looks pretty well centered. I like to use my hand like this to feel. And it feels like here, it might be a little out this way. A little bit more in here. So remember, you got 2 points. So as you're moving, you got to kind of move both at the same time. So here I like it. I'm going to look at the back. Still not the way I want. I'm going to lose it a little bit because maybe I tied it a little bit too much. There we go. Okay, so here, that's the perfect, actually, problem. I'm going to try to show you that on camera. So that will happen sometime. The front is perfect. If you look here, it looks pretty well aligned. So everything should be fine. But come here and look at the back bottom. Like this, yeah. So you can see the tire here. So what's happening is we're not really crooked. It's like any new product, especially bracket like this, it can get a little bent or not perfectly straight. So that's something I'm going to realign after I fix those bolts. And I'll show you how. Okay, so let's fix the bolts. So same thing, you want that snug, but you don't want to go all crazy tight. So here it looks good to me. We're going to do the same here. Let's come this way. Okay, that's tight. So now if you look in the front, I mean, it looks really good in the front center. Everything's tight. So now what I want to get this to kind of bend back. So I didn't plan for that. I'm going to run to my bench and grab a crescent wrench. All right, so I like to use the crescent wrench. So basically here, if we were looking at it, Like, it's hard to see because the fender is black, the tire is black, but if you look, the front is like this, the back go like this. So what I'm going to do is carefully with a wrench, with a crescent wrench, I'm going to grab it here, flat, and I'm going to basically force it back this way. It's better, but it's not perfect yet. Almost there. So now I'm just going to make sure that it's still, yeah, I can feel it going like this. So it's going to have to go more like this. So I'm going to grab it a little bit higher here. And just so you know, it's not every fender like that. It happened, I will say, once every 5 fenders. But that's a possibility. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take a look from the front. Okay, so I think that now we're pretty straight. And now I'm going to go back to this rear adjustment. Okay, and like I said, I use my hand just to kind of get a feel here. So we're good here. Whoop. And now I'm going to tie it back, definitely, and we will be done for this side. And that's tight. All right, so now I'm going to look at it from the back. You probably have a better vision than me on the front. Spin it. What I do is I like to just lightly touch it and make sure nothing's rubbing anywhere. Listen, no rub, and that's it. Now, on the other side, one thing is you have the mirror in the way, so you will have to lose the 5 millimeter here, which is pretty easy. Just lose it. Okay, and just move this out of the way for now. When your fender is installed, push it back, and our rule here at Utah Trike is we put one finger flat like this, and we push it until it just sits on your finger. All right? So that means when we got the fender on, just put on the fender, one finger, tied it back on. And that's it.
And there you have it. Front fenders for your Catrike to keep you dry. If you have any questions about procedure, go ahead and email us at trikes@utahtrikes.com and we'll get back to you. In the meantime, if you have any suggestions for future tutorials, leave them down in the comments down below. We hope you guys keep your trikes maintained out there, and we'll see you in the next one.